Okay, welcome to episode 3, Next Steps for Ambitious Beginners, Taking Tricks. And in this episode, we're going to continue working on promoting tricks from our smaller cards. And this is a good example. Here we have overcalled 4 spades after East preempted 4 hearts, and we get the ace of hearts lead. Now when we are playing a suit contract, just like when we're playing a no trump contract, we want to count our winning tricks. We want to count our power tricks. And here we have 7 tricks for sure in spades and 2 tricks, top tricks in clubs. So we have 9 tricks. And by counting our winners, we learn that we are only looking for one more trick. Okay, and that will influence how we go about playing this hand. There are 2 things up here, right? The hearts look pretty much hopeless. Roughing in this hand, we already counted 7 spades there, so that doesn't help. But we have the king of diamonds here, which means if the ace of diamonds is in East, it might be a trick for us. We might be able to lead at the king. If he plays the ace, we'll duck it, and that would give us one more trick. That could be our 10th trick. We'll hold on to that, okay? Because the club trick is much more interesting. Now, we are only missing the queen, right? Of the top, from ace down to 7, we're only missing the queen. These 3 cards, the jack, 10, 9, are equal to the 8, 7 in the club suit. Right? Now, the danger in this hand, and let's count our losers for a second, right? We have the queen of clubs as a loser, and we have 3 potential diamond losers, right? So there are 4 potential losers here. And what we would like to do is avoid East ever getting in on this, because he's the guy who could lead through the king. And if ace, queen, jack, or whatever is over here, or if he has the high honor here leading over through the king at the ace, queen, we could be in trouble, right? So what we can do, though, to protect ourselves and also be able to work on the club suit is to just simply pitch a club on the first loser. This is a loser on loser play, right? We had a club loser. We had a heart loser. Now we played them on the same trick. When jack continues, right, we will ruff. Okay, and we had 11, so let's see how many, if we have to pull trump in two tricks or just one. Just one, so all the trump are gone. And now notice we have the jack 10, and they are equal to the 8, 7. Okay, so I can promote these right up simply by playing these 2 cards, right? Now the queen is a missing card, and then there's the 8 and 7. So of the top 3 remaining clubs, I have 2 of them. This is a guarantee of a trick. Now I want to see the queen. Okay, I want to see the queen. So if I lead this 8 and East doesn't play the queen, I'm going to start pitching losers. And I'm going to pitch a loser, of course, in the diamond suit. And there goes the loser. And it turns out East also had the queen. Now, if you look at the loser count right now, right, we lost 1 trick, and we have the 9 and king of diamonds. Right? So we've made our contract at this point. East didn't cover, which might make some sense. I'll lead another. Now, if had he played this last time, of course, on the previous trick, I would have roughed then and gone back to play the other club, which now would have been good. But now here we're good to go, and we can even take our finesse of the king of diamonds. Seems unlikely to work. Why? Well, you remember the auction. East was a preemptive hand. Weak preemptive hand, so we'll try it. But it's okay, right? Because we had been able to pitch away a loser when we were setting up those clubs. And now all we have is trump, and we're good to go. Right? So this is a very simple hand once we see the possibility, right, that the jack 10, 9, ace, king, 8, 7, that we're missing just the queen, and then they got a bunch of small stuff. And that we can avoid losing the queen, right? If we we played the ace king and then led the 7 to the jack here, right? We're not even in the ball game. I mean, the queen wins. We're not promoting anything. We've used up all of our cards. But when we use the loser on loser play on the first trick and pitch away a club, now we can play the ace king, and the 8-7 and the queen are the only cards left that matter in the suit. All right? Okay, on this second hand, we'll have an auction. We'll have a nice little auction with the robot here. I'll open my spade and get a 2/1 response. Game force is in place. I can bid the spades again to show an extra spade. And we get trump agreement. We get trump agreement at the 3 level. Now, I don't have any controls to show in clubs or diamonds, but I don't know how many points North has. What if all they need to know is the heart suit? So I can make this bid. I bypass these 2 suits. So if he doesn't have anything in those suits, he's just going to bid 4 spades. But it turns out he thinks he has enough to cover both the minor suits, and we get to 6. And we get the jack of hearts as the opening lead. Now, as we always do, whether we're playing a suit contract or no trump, we're going to find out how many tricks we need to get by starting with our top tricks. And we're just going to count our power tricks. And we got 6 spades, 3 hearts for 9, and 2 aces in the minor suits in North for 10 and 11. So right from the get-go, we need just one more trick. One more trick. Try to keep a clarity of thought like that by counting. Now, the next thing we want to do in a suit contract is count how many losers we have. And in particular, we're paying attention to fast losers. Fast losers. Tricks they get when they get on lead. And here we don't have any fast losers, right? These 2 aces and side suits up here mark our holding in the minor suits slow losers. Right? That's why aces in a side suit in a contract are so strong, because slow losers go away. Now, we have 1 diamond loser, and we know that because the ace of diamonds will cover 1, and then we'll have a fast loser. Here we have 2 club losers, right? Because the ace of clubs will cover 1 of them, but after it's played, we'll have 2 losers. So we have 3 losers. They're all slow. So we can control the hand better when we have slow losers. Now, one thing, since we're looking for just one trick, when we go to think about one more trick, we might think, well, why don't we just lead at the queen of diamonds? And if it works, you just got your 12th trick and you're good to go. But if it loses to the king in west instead, now you're done with your finesses, right? Because you can't lead the 3 at the queen, hoping the king is in east, because even if it is in east, he's just going to take it and win it, right? It'd be the setting trick. So the queens are troublesome. It's not, I've got 2 chances in the minor suit. You just have 1. You have to win the first one, because if you lose it, you never win the second one. So you need to look at another option. And this is where we're starting to get, I hope, where we start seeing 7, 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Plus the ace queen. And even though we only have 6 cards, right, we recognize that we have, of the top tricks, we're only missing the king jack. And everything else we hold is equal. So what we can do is make a play at promotion, just like we did in the last hand. Let's see, we're going to need him in there, I think. Played the 2, and now jack 4th. Plays the 3, let's say. And we're going to win that. I'm going to pull 1 round of trump, but I'm going to lead a couple over there just in case I need them. There are 4 missing, so if they split 2-2, we'll know that when they both follow to the next trump trick. Now, this is a little odd, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the queen. And think back to the last hand, right? What I'm actually doing here is by taking the ace, right? By taking the ace, is I've made the 10, 9, 8, 7 equal. So they have the king, they have the jack, but we've got 3 of them, right? So they have 2, and we got one more. So if I play the 7, and say they play the 9, that's our loser. We can't afford another loser, right? So let's see. I'm not sure what they would lead here. Maybe he just leads the other spade. So now there's only the king out, right? There's only the king out. So I'll play one more. When the king drops, I can ruff, right? And now the 10 is promoted to the highest card in the suit. Cross back over and notice what I have now. I have the king, and of those club losers, those 2 club losers, one will go under the queen of hearts, and one will go under the 10 of diamonds. And now we're home free. Right, so there you go. We got it. Start looking at those high spot cards. Start thinking, well, is this a safer play than my finesses? And very oftentimes, either they are indeed safer plays, or they're additional plays. You can try them, and if they don't work, you might still have your finesse available. We're going to see one of those hands in a little bit here. So we get to 4 hearts, and we get the lead of the king of clubs. So we'll count our top tricks, and we can see that so long as the hearts behave, we get 6 hearts, the ace of spades for 7, 2 diamonds for 9, and the ace of clubs for 10. So we got 10 top tricks. If we count our losers, we have a slow loser, right? Where the losers are in the long hand. We have the 6 of spades is a loser, and 1 diamond is a loser, and 1 club is a loser. So we have 10 tricks and 3 losers so long as the hearts behave. So of course, to make this hand a little more interesting, we find out on the king of hearts lead that they are not breaking. So we had 8 of them. We were 6-2. That means that there are 5 hearts in West, and those hearts include the Jack 10. This is an unavoidable heart loser, right? So if we have an unavoidable heart loser, we need to get rid of one of our other losers, right? Because we had a loser in clubs, a loser in spades, and a loser in diamonds. We can't afford this loser in hearts that we found out. So what do we get rid of? Well, lead at the Jack of diamonds, and that might work, right? If the queen is over here, except if he goes up with the queen, then we didn't get anything, right? We only have 1 diamond loser, so that doesn't really do anything for us. But think back of this club suit. What happened? We had king, ace, so queen, jack are out, and we have the 10, 9, 8, right? So that's 3 of the top 5. So let's go for it. Now remember, it seems complicated, and there's a little panic about the bad trump split. But remember, if we're saying, yes, I have 1 heart loser, then we just have a very simple goal. We need a way to pitch away a diamond so that we don't have a diamond loser. So when we play the 10, 1 of the 2 higher cards comes out. They expose our fast loser in spades, but we're counting on losing that now, right? That doesn't bother us. What we want to do, okay, so he's down to 3 hearts. What we want to do is drive out the next highest card in clubs. Now, when that happens, right, then I can ruff, right? And this is now a good card. Unfortunately, I can't afford to pull trump, right? Because I need those basically being led to me later. But I can go over here, and knowing that East cannot ruff, this club very well could be good. And it is. Pitch diamond. Right? Now, we have gotten rid of one of our losers. So we have 1 loser now. We're not going to lose a diamond. We are going to lose a spade for the second one, and we're going to lose a heart for the third. So our contract is there, right? And the way to probably handle this the easiest is simply win your diamond and throw in a spade, and no matter what they lead, ruff low, He didn't even try it. Doesn't really matter. I mean, with our holding, we are always going to get this 10th trick. And then they get the last one. Right? So don't panic when you see the bad split. Instead, count those losers. One of the basic plays in getting rid of losers in the long hand, the long trump hand, is to throw a loser from that hand onto a winner in the dummy. And here, promotion is the work we had to do to create that winner. Right? We had to promote a card high enough that it could be a winner in the dummy, which took a little bit of work. We had to lose, right? We had to lose the queen and the jack, and then we were there. So, only chance, and it works. This hand is a little bit different, and you'll see why in a second. We're going to be in 6 diamonds, and I'll just bid it, and we will get the king of hearts as the lead. Okay. If we count our top tricks, we can see that we have 6 diamonds, the ace of hearts for 7, and the ace king of clubs for 8 and 9, right? 1, 2, 3, and 9. Yeah, with the diamonds. This seems like a far way from getting to our contract. We're not going to make any hay in clubs, right? Let's count our losers. We don't have any spade losers, right? And in the heart suit, we can rough some. And in the club suit, we definitely have a loser. So we have too many losers in hearts is the problem. Now, this is a funny hand in a way. And I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have had the forethought to do this. But if you look at the heart suit, right, we're missing the queen, jack, 9. Queen, jack, 9, and West certainly would appear to have the queen. Oh, that's just the jack up there. So we're only missing the queen and the 9. And if you take this first trick, right, now defenders are sitting there looking at the dummy thinking, okay, so he's going to be roughing some hearts. So you throw out your little heart, and of course West will think, well, he's roughing some hearts. But you're the one that noticed that there's not many high cards over you in the heart suit, and they would appear to be in West. So now you can throw away a club. And when East doesn't have a card to cover the 7, you have, in essence, I mean, it's a de facto promotion of the 7 of hearts to a trick, even though there's a bunch of cards over it. And this I think this would happen at the table 99% of the time. I don't think somebody's going to cover the 7 to make sure you rough with the 2 of diamonds. They are assuming you are grabbing that, you're roughing without even any thought. So now look, we only have, we don't have a club loser anymore. I should say we have a club loser, but we have a way to get rid of it, right? So we can play ace, king of clubs, rough small, come back to our hand, I'm going to rough high. No, I don't need to. They're all equal. Right? And now I'm going to rough a heart. And when I do this, I'm going to rough with the ace. Right? So that I can easily get back and run my diamonds. And let's go look and see over here in the little box how many losers. We haven't lost a trick yet. So we're going to give them the 10 of hearts. Right? We'll pull all our trump, say you can have your heart to make. This is an interesting hand. We're gonna see a different concept on promotion, a little twist on it. We get to 4 spades, and we get the ace of clubs as a lead. Now we have good spades. We have 6 spades, the ace of hearts for 7, and we're going to need to promote a couple club tricks for 8 and 9, and then get or 8 and then 9 and 10. And I mean, somewhere in there we're going to need to come up with 3 tricks, and we have sequences. Queen, jack, 10 should be good for 2. King, queen should be good for 1. But there's one more idea, and we end up being able to see this. We get the 8 of clubs as a lead, and of course we'll let them have that. And he's going to switch to a diamond. Now we all know this feeling, right? When we recognize that, oh my goodness, he's not switching to the diamond by underleading the ace here. So the ace of diamonds is in east. Ace of diamonds is in east. And do we immediately think it's all over? No, there's actually a holding in which our king of diamonds grows up. And that's when the ace is underprotected, right? That it is ace third. Perhaps sensing this, maybe Jack switches to a spade. Right? So we're going to have to do this work ourselves. We'll win that, and then we're going to lead to the queen. He'll probably duck it, right? So we've gotten one diamond trick already, right? Now what we'd like to do is lead them again, right? If it's ace third, then leading the ace diamonds means we can rough out the ace. So I'll go ahead, preserving an entry here. Play the 8 of diamonds, right? And there's the ace of diamonds, right? So there was ace third, and we were able to get both the king and queen. We knew that was good for one, but we managed to get the queen and now also get the king. Right? And of course we'll rough that, and then we can cross back over with the 7 of spades. And now we're not going to even take our finesse. Notice that the finesse stayed there long enough, right? If he'd been able to duck another diamond, then we could have gotten back up there and tried the heart finesse instead. But we made the jack of clubs good, so now we don't need that. Not the jack of clubs. We made the king of diamonds good. And now we'll go ahead and just grow up the queen. And the rest of the tricks are ours. Okay, see the ace third, king fourth. There's the key. And we know that ace of diamonds is over there. Don't give up. Just consider whether or not we would be able to get in a position where we could rough that ace out before we had to play the king. All right, it seems inevitable that when we get these big hands, we get problems. Here we have 26 points, and we'll open at 3 no trump, and we get left there. And naturally, when the cards come down, we see that we are short 2 tricks, right? We have 3 spades and 4 more outside that. So we have 7 tricks and we need 2 more. The jack of spades is a trick if we could only get there. So in theory, the card that gets this there is 8, and then the jack of spades is 9. But what is that play? And that's the problem. Of course, we'll leave that there and unblock the suit first of all, since that's the whole plan. Let's unblock it. And now we have 1 trick sitting over there if we can get there. Now the interesting play is this. The only possible play has got to be in the clubs, right? The queen or the 8, or maybe the 5. What, the 5 you say? Well, sure, maybe the 5. Let's say we played the 10. It gets covered by the jack, goes to the queen, to the king. I won't take the free finesse for the sake of a good story. Right? And now I'm going to play the 6 of clubs, which gets covered by the 7, the 8, and the 9. Has anybody been keeping track? They're going to have their 2 hearts now. Maybe lay the diamond back. Keeping track, we realize that yes, that little old 5 has grown up. Hit our jack of spades and lead back to the 2 aces. Right? So how does that... Our next hole, we're going to be working on this here on out for the next few months. And it's all about suit establishments. Suit establishment. And what we're doing with a suit establishment is winning a trick by attrition. Linked tricks. Linked tricks. Now, we're going to get a real good example here, and one I hope you remember, because you're going to be surprised how many times this will save your butt. We'll start with 6, 10, 11, 14, with 5-card major, 5-card suit there. I think I can upgrade that to a 1 no trump. Do not have a 4-card major, and we get to 3 no trump. get the queen of spades, and oh my goodness, we can't afford to lose the lead. We're going to win a king of the spade, but after that, if we lose the lead at all, they will run off their spades, and that will be that. Because we know that at least one of them has 5 spades. So they're going to get 4 spades and whatever trick they get in on. So this contract is going down if we give up the lead. Let's count our winning tricks. We get the king of spades. We get 3 hearts, that's 4. We get the ace of clubs, that's 5. And we get 3 diamonds, that's 8. So we need one more trick. Now, you finesse fanatics over there will immediately say, well, we can get our 9th trick by taking a finesse. If it wins, the king of clubs is in the east. If it wins, we've got our 9th trick, and that's the end of it. And I completely agree with you. And it is not what you should do first. We need to look at this 4-3 fit. Right, 4-3. That gives us a link trick whenever the cards are 3-3 against us. There's 6 out. If they split 3-3, that means that the 2 could win a trick simply by attrition. Right? It could be the last card standing in the heart suit if these split 3-3. Conveniently for us, it won't be so convenient as we go on. We have ace, king, queen. So we can actually play ace, king, queen and see if it falls 3-3. And if they don't, we'll still have the lead over there and we'll be able to try our finesse. Now, percentage-wise, it's important to remember that it is more likely that the finesse will win than that they will break 3-3, right? The finesse is 50-50. The 4-3, the 3-3 split is only going to happen about 35% of the time. But how can you turn down 35%? You just can't, right? Especially since we can do it first. We get to win the first one. So all we do is simply lead the hearts and count how many times they follow. They need to follow 3 times. Once, twice, and hallelujah. Right? We didn't have to risk the finesse because we screw up the 5. It would have been more dramatic if I'd saved the 2 for that. But we get that trick. We can cross over here, get our diamond tricks. There's 7, and here comes an 8th trick. And we have the ace of clubs for 9. Now, should we take the finesse here? Absolutely not. We don't take the finesse and take a 50-50 shot at losing the contract. Of course we'll take it. And this is a funny little hand because it turns out that the king of clubs was offside and stiff. Meaning had you taken the finesse first and only that, you would have lost to a stiff king. But we get the 3 no trump and we get the spade lead. So we have 3 spades, the ace of hearts for 4, 2 clubs for 5 and 6, and 7 and 8 with the ace, king of diamonds. Looking for just one trick, right? If we look at the spade suit, we don't really see a 4th spade coming our way. We look at the club suit, we don't see even maybe a 3rd club coming our way. It's not going to happen. There's no 9th trick in clubs. So we have the red suits to work on. Now notice that both of them are 4-3, which is sort of the combination we're working on here to start our suit establishment work. A 4-3 fit always gets a linked trick, right? A linked trick. We establish a trick if east-west 6 cards are dividing 3-3. If they're dividing 4-2, we're out of luck, right? So as we saw last time, if we have in the last hand, if we have the ace, king, queen, we can just simply play them. That's really nice. But sometimes we're not that good. And look at the 2 red suits here. We have the ace and the king. And what we'll want to do in this situation is just play them on the 2nd and 3rd tricks. In other words, we will just, if we just duck one, we'll have one losing trick, just duck one, then play the ace and the king. And if it's a 3-3 split, we're good to go. Look at the difference in the heart suit. Once again, we could get an extra trick here, right? We're not, because all we're looking for is an extra trick, right? If we duck 2. So in diamonds, we have to just lose 1, meaning we have a chance of 3 tricks there. In hearts, we have to duck twice because we need to leave the ace there to play that 3rd all-important trick to see if they follow. Now, what we can do is combine these chances. right? And that will do that by just losing a diamond to begin with. And I don't care about the spots. This is truly numbers. How many times do they follow? We're not trying to promote or anything. These spades are not dangerous. You can see that, right? They're following. So we don't really have a problem there. So diamonds are all prepped. And I want you to think of that. I prepped the diamonds to check for a 3-3 fit. The hearts we have to prep now too. Oh, and this time, because we only have the ace as a high card instead of the ace king, we have to duck twice. Okay. And they both followed. So they both followed twice the diamonds. They both followed twice the hearts. East is going to do us the favor of checking the diamonds for us first. And they followed twice to that and a third time. So the 5 of diamonds ends up being our 9th trick. Anyways, let's see if they both follow. They don't. On the 3rd lead, they didn't follow, right? So they were breaking 4-2. They weren't breaking 3-3. But it doesn't matter. We got our extra trick. And that gives us 9. All right, so as we go through these suit established things, I want you to notice these common techniques of how we establish a suit. When we've got this 4-3, we're looking for a 3-3 fit. We found it in diamonds, but we had to lose a trick and then play the ace and the king. And in the heart suit, where we only have the ace to clean things up, so we had to lose 2 tricks and then play the ace. All the time, we're not counting to 13. We're never counting to 13. We're never doing math. We're never adding things up. We know that for the diamonds to break 3, they have to follow 3 times. That's as high as you have to count. Just count to 3. Do you want to count to 13 or do you want to count to 3? Count to 3. 1 lead, 2 leads, 3 leads. They followed. My trick is good, right? 1 lead, 2 leads, 3 leads. One of them showed out. It was a 4-2 fit instead. Okay, so that's how you do it. And this will go on now for several months. I've got hands ready for us. And let's see if we make it through the winter. I'll be doing most of that winter traveling in the desert and the mountains out west with my Starlink. And it'll be fun. All right, so see you next week.